Welcome back to Lion Recaps. Today, I am going to explain an American superhero action movie called Iron Man 2. In Russia, the sequel to the first Iron Man movie picks up several months later, where we meet Ivan Vanko. Ivan's father, Anton, is on his deathbed, sharing his last wishes with his son. Ivan harbors resentment towards Tony Stark, who is enjoying fame and believes he deserves the same recognition. However, Anton advises him to ignore that garbage. With nothing but his father's knowledge to inherit, Ivan discovers a blueprint with his father's and Howard Stark's, Tony's father, names on it. Determined to seek revenge and prove himself, Ivan starts rebuilding the arc reactor and constructing his own weaponized suit. 6 months have passed since Tony Stark, also known as Iron Man, successfully mediated a peace treaty among the world's major superpowers using his advanced armor technology. His popularity with the general public soars even higher when he fulfills his late father's dream of reopening the Stark Expo in Queens, New York, showcasing cutting-edge inventions for the betterment of humanity. Tony arrives at the expo in his Iron Man suit, making a grand entrance and becoming a symbol of global peace. However, backstage, Tony privately conducts a blood test which reveals that the palladium he uses to power his chest arc reactor is slowly poisoning him. After the expo, Tony and his friend Happy leave, only to be confronted by a woman who serves Tony with a subpoena, summoning him to a Senate Armed Forces Committee hearing. Determined to face the situation, Tony and Happy embark on a road trip to Washington, D.C. in Tony's sleek new Audi R8. The next morning, Tony attends the Senate hearing with his trademark humor on full display, seemingly brushing off the fact that the government has classified his Iron Man armor as a weapon. Colonel Rhodes presents the investigation into the circumstances surrounding Iron Man's creation, but Senator Stern, the committee chairman, misinterprets his remarks. With Justin Hammer from Hammer Industries in attendance, Tony delivers a fiery rebuttal, revealing that he is, in fact, Iron Man, and refuses to part with his armor. He equates surrendering his armor to indentured servitude and proceeds to hack into the committee's computers to demonstrate that all attempts at replicating his suit, including those by Iran, North Korea, and Hammer Industries, have been disastrous failures. Tony shows that North Korea's version is unstable and collapses easily, Iran's explodes upon impact, and Hammer's suit malfunctions and severs its pilot's spine. With his characteristic confidence, Tony adamantly refuses to comply with the government's demand to hand over the Iron Man armor and dramatically walks out of the hearing. Back at his home, Tony is busy analyzing the latest prototypes and advancements for the Iron Man suits with the help of Jarvis. Pepper enters, and the two engage in a heated argument about the future of Stark Industries. Tony reveals that he's been making more money from the company's stocks than he ever did as CEO, and expresses his desire to step down from the CEO position to focus solely on Iron Man. Pepper is taken aback as Tony proposes appointing her as the new CEO, leaving her stunned. The next day, a pleasant notary public named Natalie Rushman arrives for Tony to officially sign the company over to Pepper. Meanwhile, Tony is undergoing combat training with Happy, but in the heat of the moment, he accidentally performs an illegal move, mistaking it for mixed martial arts. Intrigued by Natalie, Tony has Happy give her a boxing lesson, and as Tony looks up Natalie's bio, she effortlessly takes down Happy with a TKO, revealing her impressive combat skills that go beyond what meets the eye. Tony heads to Monaco for some much-needed rest and relaxation. At a reception before the Monaco 500, where Stark Industries is sponsoring a driver and has entered a Formula One car, Tony is approached by Christine Everhart, his favorite Vanity Fair reporter, who wants Pepper to be on the cover of the next issue as the new CEO of Stark Industries. Justin Hammer, who happens to be present, also greets Tony, along with Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla Motors, who expresses interest in showcasing his latest invention at the Stark Expo. Tony, concerned about his increasing palladium poisoning, takes another blood reading and realizes the severity of the situation. Determined to take matters into his own hands, Tony decides to personally drive the Stark Industries car in the Monaco 500 instead of the pre-selected driver. Stark initiates the race, unaware that Ivan Vanko has infiltrated one of the pit crews. Vanko conceals a harness beneath his jumpsuit, outfitted with 2 powerful energy whips that run on the arc reactor he created following his father's passing. Vanko employs the whips to cleave one vehicle in two, inside a colossal pileup, and ambush Tony. Meanwhile, Happy and Pepper rush to convey the briefcase that Happy has in his possession to Tony. Vanko utilizes his electric whips to target the Rolls-Royce Phantom that transports Happy and Pepper, and after a series of forceful collisions, Pepper eventually succeeds in delivering the briefcase to Tony. Once activated, the case transforms into a portable version of the Iron Man suit. Tony engages Vanko in an intense battle and eventually emerges victorious by manually extracting the arc reactor battery that powers Vanko's whips, crushing it after analyzing it with Jarvis. The authorities seize Vanko and take him into custody, while Vanko taunts Tony by shouting "You lose" at him. The onlookers are in disbelief at the spectacle they've just witnessed. Justin Hammer, on the other hand, sees potential in Vanko's abilities. Tony manages to secure a private meeting with Vanko while he is in custody. Vanko asks Tony how it feels to be on the brink of death with the palladium in his chest being an excruciatingly painful way to perish. Stark retorts that Vanko and he are in the same boat. Afterwards, Hammer orchestrates a prison break for Vanko, sneaking him a meal of chicken and mashed potatoes with a note advising him to savor the potatoes. Vanko and another inmate receive matching uniforms with matching identification. Vanko immediately murders the other prisoner as well as a guard during his escape, detonating the explosive device contained within the potatoes. As he flees, two Hammer operatives capture him and take him into custody. Hammer realizes that he needs Vanko's expertise to surpass Tony, and Vanko agrees to help. Hammer hires Vanko to create armored suits that are based on existing designs, but Vanko insists that Hammer is making a mistake. Additionally, Vanko asks Hammer to retrieve his pet cockatoo from his home in Russia. While on their flight home, Tony and Pepper observe the aftermath of the recent events and witness Senator Stern furiously airing his grievances with Tony on the O'Reilly factor. Stern accuses Tony of deceiving the Senate Armed Forces Committee and warns that he may be arrested for perjury. Tony had previously assured the Senate that Hammer Industries, as well as other nations, were still 2 decades away from producing a technology comparable to Iron Man, yet Vanko's arc reactor copy proved everyone wrong. Tony prepares a gourmet meal for Pepper and plans to confess everything, but they experience an uncomfortable moment as Pepper realizes that Tony is withholding information from her. Upon returning home, Tony enlists Jarvis to investigate Ivan Vanko's background. He discovers that Vanko's father, Anton Vanko, was Howard Stark's partner and a co-founder of Stark Industries. Howard Stark learned that Anton was plotting to sell weapons to the Soviet Empire, leading to Anton's arrest for treason and deportation to Russia, where he was imprisoned. Ivan had been seeking revenge against the Stark enterprise ever since. While seated in one of his hot rods in the basement, Tony begins to feel weak and is found by Rhodes, who advises him that this isn't a good look for him. Tony reveals to Rhodes that the palladium is gradually poisoning him. Rhodes also discloses that he's been engaged in a struggle with the Pentagon over preventing them from confiscating Tony's suits to be used for weaponized purposes. Tony prepares for what he believes will be his final birthday celebration and asks Natalie what she would do if it were her last one. Natalie replies that she would do whatever she wanted with whomever she wanted to do it with. During the party, a drunken Tony wears the Iron Man suit and behaves recklessly with its weapons. In the background, Pepper and Rhodes discuss Tony's unstable behavior, with Rhodes expressing his frustration in dealing with the Pentagon and the Senate Armed Forces Committee. Finally fed up with Tony's antics, Rhodes puts on the Silver Mark II suit. Tony is challenged by Rhodey to a fight, during which he has the in-house DJ play some music for background noise. The fight ultimately results in a draw, and Rhodey flies away in the Mark II armor, taking it to the military authorities at Edwards Air Force Base. Later on, Justin Hammer is invited to examine the suit and subsequently equips it with advanced weaponry. The following day, Tony is sitting atop the famous giant donut at Randy's Donuts, a well-known Los Angeles landmark, in his Iron Man suit. S.H.I.E.L.D. director Nick Fury approaches him, informing Stark that despite his recent government-related issues and drunken behavior, which are not his primary concerns, there is a problem that needs to be addressed in the Southwest United States. Tony is skeptical about Fury's Avengers initiative, but Fury assures him that it's genuine and reminds him of his father's connection to S.H.I.E.L.D., which was founded by Howard Stark. They are joined by Phil Coulson and Natalie Rushman, whose real name is Natasha Romanoff, a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent who was placed at Stark Industries to keep an eye on Tony. Upon hearing this revelation, a hungover Tony is taken aback and immediately dismisses Natasha. However, she responds by stating that it is none of his concern and that he is currently under investigation by S.H.I.E.L.D. She, along with Agent Coulson, is present to ensure that Tony follows their orders and doesn't make any more mistakes. Fury and Natasha bring up Tony's palladium poisoning, to which he responds by stating that he has investigated and tested every possible element, but has yet to find a solution. Natasha then injects Tony with a serum that significantly slows the progression of his palladium poisoning, giving him more time to search for a cure. For the time being, he is to remain confined to his Malibu residence. Fury goes on to reveal more information about Anton Vanko's connection to Howard Stark and offers Tony a chest filled with his father's old artifacts in hopes of aiding Tony's search for a cure. Despite his initial reluctance, Agent Coulson assures Tony that he will remain by his side until he finds the answers he seeks regarding his condition. While reviewing the film reels in the chest, Tony discovers a message from his father that leads him to the original 1974 diorama of the Stark Expo. He retrieves the diorama from his old office, which is now occupied by Pepper, and attempts to reconcile with her. However, the diorama actually serves as a diagram for the atomic structure of a new element that Howard was unable to produce during his time but may be achievable with Tony's advanced knowledge and modern technology. With the assistance of his computer system, Jarvis, Stark undergoes a significant transformation of his home workshop and constructs a compact particle accelerator from scratch. By doing so, he successfully produces a new element and fabricates a more potent triangular chest arc reactor that effectively cures his poisoning. This latest iteration of the reactor is substantially more powerful than any of the previous versions he had created. However, just as he is about to finish the particle acceleration, Coulson interrupts him and informs him that S.H.I.E.L.D. has reassigned him to a different case in New Mexico, giving Stark the green light to leave. Vanko has made significant alterations to Hammer suits at Hammer Industries, transforming them into automated drones. Although Vanko believes that these modifications are an improvement, Hammer is dissatisfied with the outcome. As a result, Hammer confines Vanko in a small room, guarded by 2 security personnel, and takes control of the drones to exhibit them at the Stark Expo. At the Stark Expo, Hammer presents his latest military drones, piloted by Rhodes, who is wearing a heavily weaponized version of the confiscated Mark II armor. However, it is soon discovered that Vanko has pre-programmed the drones, granting him complete control over them. Additionally, Vanko also has control over Rhodes' new armor, and just as they launch an attack, Stark arrives to confront them. As Stark engages in battle with these remotely controlled foes while attempting to avoid Rhodes, Happy Hogan and Romanoff race to Hammer's Queen's facility to apprehend Vanko. Once they arrive, they engage in a skirmish with Hammer's security guards. Happy is pleased with himself for incapacitating one of the guards, but he is somewhat taken aback when he sees that Romanoff has taken down at least 6 of them in a short period of time. Vanko, wearing an upgraded version of the harness he used during his attack on Tony in Monaco, has already left for the Stark Expo in a new armored suit. With the help of Natasha, Rhodes is able to regain control of his armor, and he joins forces with Stark to fight against the remaining drones. Together, the 2 armored allies combine their strength and effectively eliminate all of the drones. Pepper take action to have Justin Hammer arrested for aiding and abetting Vanko. Soon after, Vanko lands on the scene, sporting an updated armored suit equipped with enhanced plasma energy whips. The ensuing battle is grueling, but Stark comes up with a plan to utilize a strategy they had employed earlier during his birthday party. By firing their energy repulsors in a way that creates a collision and a massive explosion, they manage to trap Vanko in the center of it, thereby defeating him. Although the collision maneuver is successful in defeating Vanko, it is discovered that Vanko's armor and drones are equipped with self-destruct charges. As explosions begin to erupt, Stark rushes to rescue Pepper, ultimately managing to save her just in time. After they land on a nearby rooftop, Pepper quits her position as CEO, and she and Tony share a passionate kiss, only to discover that Rhodes is sitting just a few meters away. During a debriefing, Fury informs Stark that he is not considered a suitable candidate for the Avengers Initiative, but S.H.I.E.L.D. is still interested in having him as a consultant. Stark agrees to the offer, but with the condition that Senator Stern personally presents him and Colonel Rhodes with their medals for bravery. However, when Senator Stern presents Tony with his medal, he appears to be displeased with Stark, causing some tension between them. In a post-credits scene, S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Coulson is seen driving to a remote impact crater located in the New Mexico desert. He contacts Fury over the phone and informs him that they have found it. Inside the crater lies Mjolnir, the legendary hammer of Thor. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.